Amid the 7th of October massacre, my friend G didn't wait to be called up. He arrived at his base about an hour from his home and fought in Gaza for over 300 days. Since then, he's been called up for days and weeks at a time, experiencing whiplash as he goes back and forth between his regular life and combat. In May 2025, G was called up for a 60 to 90-day mission in Gaza. Around the same time, I was introduced to Shlomo Lev, a 98-year-old former Palmach who fought the British in Palestine, fought in the War for Independence, and was held hostage by the Egyptians before being released into Gaza. He's a man who knows a thing or two about winning impossible victories. To give G strength, I worked with Shlomo's daughter Lily to connect these lines of Israel. This video is an ode to G and all of those protecting the Jewish state against existential threats. May you draw strength from the heroes who came before you and those who walk with you into battle.
Hi, my name is Shlomo Lev. I used to be Levitsky, but we shorten it in the States. Now, I was the Palmachnik, maybe now the last one from the Palmach, because I am 98.
Israel is the realization of Jewish sovereignty and self-determination, no longer at the mercy of others in foreign lands. Starting before the UN voted for partition in 1947, the people of Israel have been fighting for their existence and winning impossible victories.
Hey Shlomo, my name is, I'm a captain in the IDF. I watched your video you sent me through Rachel. It was amazing and inspiring, and I just got called 3 days ago to come back to the army to fight. I'm going to Gaza in 3 days. Right now we are doing some last preparation and training, and I'm going into an operation or a mission that is going to last between 60 to 90 days. I'm going to be in Gaza. So before I go, I just wanted to tell you thank you for your words and for your support. It means the world for us.
To my dear friend and all of the men and women of the IDF fighting Hamas, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Iran, and the ignorance of the world. To those who sacrificed their careers, marriages, and lives to protect the Jewish nation. Remember that the ground beneath your feet was won by pioneering freedom fighters, an army of Palestinian Jews, and refugees from Europe and the Arab countries who had to beg, borrow, and make weapons for their own defense. All they had going for them was a lust for life and no alternative. In no way should they have been able to defeat a colonial superpower and beat back 5 Arab armies attacking at once. What should have been bloodbaths and the end of the Jewish state turned to impossible victories. You are the legacy of their bravery in the face of existential threats, their creativity, their resourcefulness to overcome the impossible, and their will to do what needs to be done. One of Israel's pioneering freedom fighters was Shlomo Lev. His story is your story. The Long Way Home. Born Shalomee Levitsky in a small Ukrainian town with a vibrant Jewish community scarred by pogroms and Stalinist repression. At 6, Shlomo and the Levitsky family received passports and traveled to Odessa, where they boarded a boat bound for Palestine, eventually settling in Givat Ram during the 1930s. Givat Ram in Jerusalem was part of the changing urban landscape under the British Mandate. By 16, Shlomo was involved in the Zionist youth movement. Joining Pluga Dalet of the Palmach, the Haganah strike force, where rank didn't exist and initiative counted for everything. The company was assembled from the Haganah's youth members in Tel Aviv and surrounding areas who joined the pioneer combatant youth in the summer of 1941. Clandestine missions. In the spring of 1942, Shlomo's company was recruited and trained first at Ben Shaman, then in Mishmar HaEmek, and posted in the kibbutzim of the eastern Jezreel Valley. During this time, Shlomo was arrested by the British for illegal weapons and imprisoned in Latrun. Starting in 1942, Jewish residents of Palestine, the Yishuv who resisted British mandatory policies, were detained in Latrun. This included members of Jewish defense organizations like the Irgun and Palmach. Shlomo transferred to Palyam, the elite fighting force of the Haganah in pre-state Israel. In the 1940s, Palyam, the naval unit of the Palmach, played a crucial role in Aliyah Bet, the clandestine immigration of Jews to Palestine during the British Mandate. In night missions, Lev smuggled Holocaust survivors from Europe and refugees from Arab countries through British blockades, guiding battered ships, including the Hannah Senesh, toward the sandy coves of Nahariya, and on foot across borders in secret rescue operations and sabotage missions against British targets. The fight for independence. When the UN voted for partition in 1947, the Arabs began their attacks, focusing on cutting off Jerusalem, the Negev, and the Galilee from the center of the country. The Arabs attacked Jewish vehicles on the only road to Jerusalem that passed through Yazor, Ramleh, Latrun, and Sher Hagai. Supply convoys with food, water, fuel, and ammunition were sent to the besieged city, escorted by small squads of men and women from the Palmach, including Lev. When the 1948 War for Independence started, the Palmach had over 2,000 men and women in 3 fighting brigades, aerial, naval, and intelligence units. When asked why he thought Israel could beat 5 Arab armies, Lev said, "We had no alternative but to win." An international incident. In 1954, Shlomo was recruited by the Jewish Agency for a covert mission aboard the Palyam through the Suez Canal. After being falsely accused of firing at fishing vessels, the Israeli ship was seized by Egyptian authorities, and Shlomo and the other crew were detained in a Cairo prison. The seizure of the ship and crew led to protests from Israel and discussions within the UN Security Council. Israel denied the charges and appealed for the crew's release and the ship's passage through the canal. Lev was imprisoned for 3 months before being released into Gaza on New Year's Day, 1955.
I always tell my soldiers about you. It gives us a lot of strength and a lot of understanding what we're doing here in this war. I hope that you watch us and you're very proud of us, and we make you proud. This is very important for us, even though you live in the diaspora and you're far away from us. We're also fighting for not just the Jews in Israel, but also the Jews around the world.
The torch is passed. Shlomo Lev's bravery, resilience, and commitment to the survival of the Jewish state is alive and well in the hearts and minds of the brave men and women of the IDF, fighting for over 600 days against the existential threats posed by Iran and its proxies since October 7, 2023. To the men and women writing this chapter of Jewish history, never back down. Never give up. Because you have no alternative but to win impossible victories.